So let's start getting ready here for our next semifinal because this one should be a good one as well, right? Let's take a look at who we've got. We've got Hard Rook versus the Dream Team. Okay, the Dream Team finished top 4 last week. They have Silhouettes, Renewal, VPB, and Class. This is a team that all 4 of them have been in CMGs over the course of Rogue Company's history on Checkmate Gaming, but they've really never played very well in the big tournaments, right? Last week they get top 4. That's their best finish so far. So they've come back. They're looking to make top 2 this time. They've already made it into the top 4 once again. But they're going against Hard Rook, who is 4 players that have been at this level for quite some time now and that continue to improve. They got 3rd place in the main bracket last month. So that's Who's That, Cannibals, Rixie, and Gotti, although he changed his game name to Joe in Italian, which is Giuseppe.
I was going to say, I had it in front of me. I'm like, that does not look like Joe, but Hard Rook,
it's
you said.
Joe in Italian.
I got you there. Hopefully it's a power up for him. If they got 3rd last time, maybe it can push him a little bit further than that. But I mean, Dream Team, you said they did well last week playing against some of those teams that were doing fairly well, getting all the way up there, even with everybody playing in the bracket, more teams than previously. But there is a lot of talent on the side of Hard Rook. I mean, I recognize and have seen all these players excel in multiple different situations across multiple metas. So seeing Hard Rook here, it's going to have to be a huge performance, I think, from Dream Team to overcome them here after the success that they've seen in previous weeks.
Yeah, I mean, 3rd place in the main bracket. And then you have a team that made top 4 last week, but Hard Rook didn't play. I mean, Who's That did. He subbed for another team. But it'll be interesting to see because I've been praising Who's That for a while now. He's really improved. But you also got to look at people like Rixie. He's kind of just a slayer. You put anything in his hands, he slays. You put Fixer in Gotti's hands, and it's pretty much game over at that point. And then you have Canny. I think he's really stepped up, become a leader, right? Because he keeps losing. He keeps coming in 3rd place in these main brackets, but he keeps coming back hungry for more. And that really builds up your resilience. But let's talk about the maps. Windward for Demolition number 1, Icarus and Breach. It'll be the same map set because every round, all the teams play the same maps, but this is also the same round as the series we just watched. We watched semifinals match number 1. This is semifinals match number 2. So it's the same map set. Same game modes, but it's different teams. Might be different strategies. Who knows? We'll see. That's exactly what we're waiting for is the bans. So we can kind of guess what's going to happen, right? Because these teams are very, I guess, similar in style. They'll play those power picks if they're available. They don't really like to change things up too often, especially with Who's That, right? You give Who's That Chalk if it's available, boom, that's success. You give Canny like pretty much anything at this point. You can give him Ronin, boom, successful. You can give him, I mean, he's starting to play Kestrel a little bit. He plays Anvil. He's really improved as an Anvil player. That's pretty much the game that has improved a lot for him is his Anvil play. That's really what's helped propel this team to a top 3 team.
Don't know how much it will be important, I think, in some of these later maps, but Windward in particular going to have to be flexing a little bit off of that. Would not be shocked to see some of that intel get banned that we were maybe expecting to see on Breach, but with Ronin getting by, of course, I think it was tough to want to pick that intel into her plus the Dahlia combo. But here on Windward, I think playing some of the particular repairing the power picks that are left there on Windward, I think can be very effective on this map where I feel like you can run a little bit of anything depending on how you want to play the map.
Yeah, exactly. Chris, I have a question for you because this is something that was a big topic when we casted Paladins as well, right? And you don't really think about it in this sense when you talk about what rogues people are going to be banning. You always talk about, oh, this is a really good rogue, let's ban it. Oh, this is a power pick, let's ban it. Is that the way to go? Or do you think that sometimes, or maybe more so than often, it's a lot smarter to target ban, right? Because like, look at Lager, Drew Whitlock, crazy Ronin, but Ronin's good. So are you banning it because of Drew, or are you banning it because it's Ronin?
I think you can target ban when the stars align. I think that makes the most sense, right? If someone is really good at an off meta pick, I think you can just maybe think about it on your draft on the way in, right? You don't want to necessarily give up power unless you're specifically practicing with it. I think it makes more sense the later we go in the qualifiers, right? Once we get to that main event, when you know specifically, all right, we know our seeding, we know who we're playing in advance. We know that if we lose, we're going to be playing here. Then maybe you think about it more from team to team. But going into the qualifiers, I think you got to just run your strategies in particular. And if it just so happens that someone's god tier rogue lines up with the meta and what you don't like to play on that map, then yeah, go out of your way and target ban it. But I think this early, I think you just got to ban to your discomfort. I think that's also part of why Justice has been as successful as they have been in all the qualifiers all these times, because they're just banning, they're playing their game as opposed to these other teams that are kind of trying to punch specifically at them.
Yeah, they just ban Fixer the entire time until they go up against like Right Turtle, and then they target ban one game out of maybe the 2 or 3 that they play against them. But most of the time, it's just insta ban Fixer. Again, semifinals match number 2 coming up very shortly. It's Hard Rook versus the Dream Team. Hard Rook didn't play in week 1, but Dream Team did make top 4. But Hard Rook did come in 3rd place in our last month's main event. So look for them to try and push towards the top. And with Right Turtle seemingly not showing up in week 1 and week 2, who knows? We've only been told that they're going to show up in week 3. That might not happen, right? Things could change within 6 or 7 days, but the current stats, you'd have to say Hard Rook's the second best team out there. I mean, the team we just watched beat Lager, Hefty Fox, that's a good roster on paper. They looked good against Lager, but we haven't seen them play against a team like Hard Rook or Justice, to be exact. So it'll be interesting to see how they play against either of the teams here that make it into the finals against them. Again, Lager ended up falling short in their first semifinals matchup against Hefty Fox. So Hefty Fox is awaiting the winner of our next matchup in the finals. They're playing for some money and some points on the line, some seeding going up, that 3rd and 4th. Of course, the winner getting $400 as well. Make sure you guys check us out at checkmategaming.com. As you can see right there on the screen, that's the points, that's the money, that's the prize pool for today. We give out $1,000 to the top 8 teams in every qualifier. This is qualifier number 2 for the August event, which means there's one more qualifier coming up. That will be on August 21st. So make sure you sign up for that. Top 16 teams get points. Top 8 get paid, and then the top 16 teams in the standings from all 3 qualifiers combined make it into the main event bracket, where we will be rewarding $10,000 to those top 6 teams, I believe. So make sure you sign up as quickly as possible so you can have your chance at winning a big chunk of change. Our bands are ready. So if you're ready, I'm ready, Kresnik, to take a look at what we will not see in game number 1.
Do you think it's going to be the
I gotta
target
say,
thing? It's going to be Dallas, which is an interesting one. But
might be a target ban. There's a Dallas being banned up there.
And Dallas, I don't think is necessarily bad on Windward. It's not what you would normally have thrown in. The Lancer, I think, makes a lot of sense. This map is open potentially to a lot of hard flanks. I mean, think back to the last map we just saw, Slop just waddling in on a glitch, phone in hand, just not even looking where he's going, managing to get behind them. So having a Lancer do that, obviously, will be very strong as well. Plus the gun buffs she was just getting as well. Rough to duel into her when you don't have that information. Dallas maybe could have given that information if they kept onto it, but there's plenty more reveal rogues, and the Lancer won't be a worry anyway. But the Ronin's getting through. That's something, and Fixer, some rogues that we were really kind of keeping our eye on in this meta that are both going to be available here.
Let's see. Ronin, Fixer, Dahlia. Your 4th on defense could be an Anvil, or you can go Seeker. or Talon. I think that's the comps we might see, right? So we're going to see Fixer, Ronin, Dahlia. Those three, I think, will be the constant. And then that fourth one, it really depends. I mean, you could bring out a Kestrel. We've seen Rixie do some good things on that. You could bring out an Anvil. Who knows? You can get a little crazy here if you wanted to, whether you're on attack or defense. It just really depends on what type of strategy you're going for, right? On attack, do you want to go for a flashbang or do you want to go for a smoke? So it all depends. We'll see what it shakes out to be. But what are you predicting from these two teams going up against each other here? First time, Windward, Demolition. What can we expect?
These teams are all players that I think have a decent amount of experience. They've all played for a good amount of time. At least I know for a fact Hard Rook have. So it's going to be decisive moves unless they're specifically baiting something out. I believe Dream Team are expecting Hard Rook to be aggressive, and that's why they took out that Lancer from them. So maybe Hard Rook now slows it down. Maybe they play that flank with the glitch, especially because they know that Ronin is going to be in the picture, similar to what we saw in game number 1, I think, playing that kind of glitch radius on anywhere on the map, whether it is aggressively, whether it is just to catch Ronin trying to make a rat play on the side. That I think will be important. We might see him up there with the Fixers and the Ronins and the Dahlias that we are kind of picturing here. But because of that, a pace that might be quick with the Lancer, if she was in the picture now, slows down probably to avoid getting completely exposed by a glitch that you might not know is around that corner.
Man, I forgot about Glitch. I forgot he was still available here. And what we saw on Windward from Slop on Glitch just in our last match, 3 games ago, to be exact. So that could be interesting as well. We'll see if that one pans out, how that'll work out for him. I mean, anything can happen here. Hard Rook, though, it's kind of one of those teams that if there was a book written on meta each time, I think Hard Rook is one of the teams that stick to it the most, with just us being like, if you go off script here, you're crazy from what we've seen and heard about them. It's like, we play this way. We're going to play this way. We're going to continue to play this way. Nothing else is going to happen. Don't worry about it. We're not playing glitch. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. We're doing our thing. And it works out for them. So Hard Rook, also a top 3 team. So it works out for them as well. Maybe I'm crazy and you shouldn't try anything weird at all. Maybe you should just stick to the Justice and Hard Rook script from what it seems like. But ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. We're trying to get into this game. I mean, we're trying to get there as quickly as can. But hey, don't forget, once again, follow us on Twitter at CMG_Rogue. You can also follow Rogue Company for all your news and updates about the patches, new cosmetics, whatever you want to know about. It's all there. It's on the Twitter at Rogue Company, or you can go to our website, roguecompany.com. You can go to checkmategaming.com, sign up for all types of different games to earn money with, right? You can play chess on there. You can play Valorant, Call of Duty, Warzone. You can play Rogue Company on there and make some money as well. So plenty of ways to have fun and make money while doing it.
Blue, I have a question for you. If we're looking to buy some time here, are there any weapons in particular that have? I mean, obviously, every weapon got something, right? Every weapon. I mean, you can scroll forever on these. I
don't think every weapon got something.
Most weapons got something. It's a very, very long list. Is there anything that got a change that you were expecting to see that we haven't gotten a chance to look at yet? I mean, maybe it's just because it's not being one that's on the meta rogues, but were you expecting maybe on some of these demos to see the Arbitrator come back? I know that was something that was a pocket strat for some teams, mostly on Favela's demo up top, but you know what I mean. Is there anything that you haven't seen that you were kind of expecting to maybe make a showing here today? First tournament of season 3.
I thought maybe we'd see some objection, actually. Okay. Now that you asked me that, because we saw MXRs coming out. We're going to be jumping into the game as I explain this to you here, so bear with me. The MXR, of course, is still the better gun, in my opinion, than the objection. But I thought maybe, there's some people that would want to play pretty aggressive with her, or if you have like two other characters on your, if you have a Talon and a Fixer and they're both running Deadeyes, maybe you want to have something other than a third DMR, right? So I thought maybe we could see an objection come out. Who knows? We still could, you never know. But the second upgrade will give you that faster reload, and it like decreases your jump aim penalty or something, jump inaccuracy penalty. We see a lot of people doing some jump shots. Plus, I think, if any team's going to pick Mac, like these brave young players out there that do, and every time they pick Mac, they're like, you know what? I picked Mac. I got to pick the conviction. And I'm like, dude, just pick the objection. It's better. Okay? Maybe you'll help Mac with his win percentage at that point. Who knows? Rogues are being locked in, though. Fixer,
No Roman.
Dahlia, Kestrel, Glitch for the defense. On the attacking side, we'll see Dahlia, Saint, Chalk, Seeker. So this is all types of weirdness going across here. There's some staples. I mean, the Dahlias, those are normal. The Fixer's normal. The Glitch is becoming normal. Kestrel's kind of normal still. Chalk's normal. But then the Saint coming in. Okay. No Ronin on either side, like you mentioned.
No, I don't hate a double res. I at least in the past, I was a fan of it in some situations, especially with them kind of just pairing on this Chalk, kind of giving them everything, I guess, if they want to play to run in and get this plant down. But you can't just throw him in. That can't be your central strategy here. So you can see Canny now. They seem to know they're going to the left. Still took some early poke damage. Rixie and Canny are going to likely rotate and kind of flank them. They're now caught between a rock and a hard place here, but Canny thinks there's more people behind, and because of that, the delay, the death ball manages to take down a member of Hard Rook.
And this is where things might get a little chaotic here in the back of this truck stop. They pushed it out very effectively. Two members completely gone from the defensive side. Now look at this. They have changed sides of the maps. They took control and they said, this is our side of the map now. 1-0. The attacking team of the Dream Team lead. I've just been told that
I want to know.
The Dallas ban is a target ban against renewal.
Okay.
They're calling him a one-trick Dallas. So I guess we just mentioned, do you target ban or do you power ban? And they kind of targeted ban more than power, I would say. I think that's the first Dallas ban this month. I think it's the first time Dallas has been banned overall too. I haven't been keeping track of that. I'm gonna have to start breaking out the spreadsheets here.
Oh, you're going back in the weeks now if you want to be tracking that. But I think, I mean, obviously not paying off now, but it's only one round, and that was kind of a shock strategy that worked, right? That's the kind of strat that works because you've surprised them, and it's kind of forced them to pivot. Everyone's to the middle of the map. 3 players down in mid. Canny a mile away, and this is just a free A side. But again, they're not looking to plant. The bomb is pushing way past it with this Chalk. Everyone else now leading their way in. They'll smoke their way back, but they have no intel where anybody else is going to be behind them.
Yeah, I don't think they noticed that Glitch may be behind them at this point. They're going to have to try and turn around, single him out. Sill wins that gunfight. Oh my goodness. Canny does return fire on the class. Sill finishes off Giuseppe. And just like we said, who's that on the flank? Well, it's Glitch. Successful. Saint, the only member alive. He's got good sight on the bomb. It looks like he's going to have to try and fake his roll. Bomb defuse has been faked. Oh, the bomb's not even planted. I thought he was waiting for it. He's just going to go down. Try and get some extra money with some downs as well. They kind of fooled me. I got stuck with the tomfoolery. When they threw the smoke in pit, I thought they were planting the bomb. I guess Glitch got in there fast enough. Canny with 4 downs after that round, so they're making up some ground after losing out the pistol round. It's all tied at 1 apiece. 7 downs for the defense now. I think they only had 1 going into the second round.
That's what the double res will do. At least it'll buff the down count of the other team. They can't finish off anybody, but I mentioned it right when we got into that round. It was a shock strategy. Will it work again? No, it won't. Especially if they're committing the bomb to it, because that's exactly what they did. This is something that has been I've been nitpicking on since I started commentating Rogue Company. It's when you play an aggressive strategy and your bomb carrier is one of the ones leading the way. This time they do.
The Pulsar.
Back out a little bit. The Pulsar. I didn't want to say it, but you're the one who you brought it back, not me. Smoke on the site though. This could actually.
What other name are you gonna give it?
Flanked.
You can call it the Reckless Bomb Ape.
I like that. The RBA. Well, we can call it that, but they didn't do it this time. They stopped. They did the SBP, the safe bomb plant, except didn't actually get the bomb down. And now VPB on this Saint with that Mamba burning them down, and they are just aggressive again. Saint's the only one back, and they are actually running in with the bomb, and it's gonna get them the round.
Oh my goodness! I don't know why who's that held himself from pulling the trigger. Should have started just hip firing as soon as he went to jump past the line of sight on that tree. Maybe he just second guessed himself and didn't think that he was actually there for a split hair of a second. But nonetheless, attack wins the next round. Back and forth the rounds are going through 3. Dream Team. Oh man, I can just tell already we're going to get emotes on the hoverboards.
I was just thinking I wanted to see him do a kickflip.
Like in Apex when you're falling, you can... Oh man.
We'll see someone do a kickflip soon. Hopefully, Blue. We'll see some
I'm going to have to add Roadbucks
that
into my contract here.
You know, I got to say right now, this is one of the weirder maps I've seen of Windward played. I know that it's normal. I mean, obviously, it's normal for teams to push aggressively past the bomb site, but a team, it's like they are playing 4-man deathball team deathmatch, and it looks like Rick's got the better idea there. He understood what they were going to do. Drop the Halos, drop 2 down, and a 2 versus 4 for the Dream Team.
Rick's 2 Halo drone kills there. Now he's coming up behind Class.
Nice, that one's 2.
Clash just got a double kill at the bottom of those stairs. He survived. Didn't even have to use the rage. He's been hacked, so he can't use it even if it is available. Has the bomb on his back, but he's all alone in a 1v2. If he can single these out, which he might be able to do, throws a flashbang, but oh my goodness. I didn't even see bullets coming out of that SMG before it took him down. That was quick.
He just got naded down to 7 HP. Yeah, he got naded to 7 HP right before. Brutal. If maybe he had picked a side and pushed it, maybe this time he goes blind aggressive when he's full and it works out. But you can't do that either way. You don't know when they're going to pop out. They have the advantage, and he wanted to play it safe, just unfortunately was a little bit too safe.
Well, the EMP also, the hack, was major. Didn't allow him to use it if he did have it. That's when they kind of swarmed him, sandwiched him on each side, knowing that he had nothing. See Rick's kind of moving towards mid. He gets intel, possibly. That's going to give him some intel. Nice little grenade hit marker. Does a little bit of damage. Glitch, though, playing on market. Let's see if he makes any moves. Pulls out the iPhone. Not yet. They don't possibly need it. Kestrel's there to give him the intel. He ends up going down, gets finished off as well. But Saint quickly being traded out. That's VPB. So that's one of their revives no longer available. Bomb has been planted about 30% through that timer. Chalk's playing right on top of it as well. Very aggressive. Semtex comes through. That's going to down Renewal.
Big number, making them have a number advantage. There's a Semtex, but he hits the wall right in front of him. Unfortunate for him, has to drop something else. Does get a flash in, but won't push it quite yet. Now walking in, but he's just getting melted by everyone else who is waiting back there. They're looking for that bomb. They'll find it. They'll get the defuse in an attempt. If that Semtex comes out, maybe it's different, but too little too late.
Possibly could have stuck him with the angle that I saw where it would have gone, but yeah, it did get stuck on the little hut there. That's unfortunate.
They did finally stop and
Who's
plant the
that?
bomb, though. I think that's a nice play. Nice change of pace for him there.
I was gonna say they are getting some decent bomb plants. They just can't hold them as effectively as they would have liked. Who's that though? Moving up in the food chain here. He has 11 elims, 6 downs. A little rough first or 2 rounds there for him, but now he's starting to really get going. Not flanking as hard as what we've seen today on Glitch, but still making an impact with it nonetheless, feeding his team as much intel as he can gather in the short amount of time that he has the chance to. Trying to take over trucks. I don't know if they know that there's a member to their right. Now they do. Dahlia's making her way there. She knows someone's there. Huge explosive. The smoke comes out. Can Fixer see through it, but he's getting rushed. And when you're right in front of him like that, it doesn't matter how much smoke is covering, you're going to find him. He finds a second one. Class. Looking more like a university at this point. He's giving lessons out to everyone on how to play the chalk at the top of the hotel here. Dahlia helps him out with the last member. They grab themselves another round. This is back and forth. We're all tied at 3 apiece. This next round determines who will have that 1-point advantage going into halftime.
Yeah, Class is back in session, Blue. He is performing excellent for his team. I think it's one of the reasons why they've been able to do as well as they have been. VPP obviously also performing well. You can see them evened out there, but the aggressive potential of the Chalk paired with how they're playing and the fact that they can kind of commit those reses into him, he can res himself. It's just so hard for the downs they get to really stick on the other side. But you'd think that that's how you'd want to play. You're kind of a pokier composition where you play it a little slower, wean off of angles. But they're just doing it by running them down. They finally are slowing to get these bombs planted. And again, a slower round. They don't know who's waiting for them necessarily. It is Who's Dat and Canny. But here comes the rage pop. They saw someone there, but he rolls right over a bounce nade. Can he get this bomb down? Unlikely. But there's no way he's going to get finished off quite yet. And now they can pick a way to go. Another down on him, but a drone might be coming in immediately now.
Looking like slop in game 3 of our last matchup. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Explosion, explosion, explosion. That's what's happening in pit right now. A little bit of help from Who's That finishes off that last member. 2 members left for the attacking side. Finally, Renewal is able to find some success with the Sahara in his hands. Has not come lightly. Looks like he's got the triple upgrade as well. The level 1 upgrade increases the mag size to 35 now. That gun is deadly with 30 in the clip. Imagine 5 more. As he's able to find another one onto Who's That. They still have yet to get the bomb planted. They have 20 seconds, and they're rotating towards the beast site. They have to rush this.
Fortunate.
They will do so. Revives coming through on the resets, but there is a fight happening in the back near this fountain, and it's Canny taking out Renewal. Easily said, easy done. They'll get the defuse once more, and they will have the 4-3 lead going into halftime now.
And I'm real curious as to how Dream Team are going to play their defense, because that was a very unique attack, I think, in a lot of ways, in the comp they brought out and how they tried to play it. I don't know if I expect a hard pivot or for them to say, well, that kind of worked. Let's just do it again. They locked that one in pretty quick, too. We're already seeing something different, a lot different here. Fixer, Talon, Chalk, if those get locked in. I'd love to see Class stay on the Chalk. It will be the Fixer and the Talon, so already a bit of a pivot.
Well, the Saint will get locked in. They'll have the Saint on defense instead of the Dahlia. But Canny will bring out the Dahlia for this attacking side of Hard Rook. Fixer, Glitch, Kestrel. Pretty much the same coming out of Hard Rook. Like I said, they have a script. They stick to it. On the other side, however, they're bringing out a Talon instead of the Dahlia. So they only have one revive character this time, and it's a Saint.
I do like the Saint. I know it's been out there for a while, but I do like the flexibility it brings, and maybe they really are relying on the Mamba and the upgrades it has gotten recent patches. But again, Dahlia just getting that passive gain from someone else, so flexible. So good to have on your team. There's a reason it's been strong for so long, but VPB didn't look bad with it. Maybe he can prove us wrong in believing in the Dahlia over it, but they're going to know where he is at least. He's already operating at a disadvantage. Who's that scanning the area, telling his team how many people are close by? That's a lot of information for them to play with.
You also have to remember that with Dahlia, you can only revive someone with her ability from who you link to. With Saint, you can do essentially the same thing, just a little bit slower, but you can do it on anyone. So if, the person that you would originally link to goes down, but they're not in a safe spot, or they instantly get finished off, Saint doesn't have that problem. Unless they shoot his drone. He'll get his drone back if they shoot him while he's getting revived. But if they shoot the drone, you don't get it back. So you have a chance at being able to revive any of your 3 teammates. Going for the bomb plant finally. After the smoke kind of dissipated, Glitch instantly gets taken out, but the revive is coming through. Interesting also that the Dahlia is linking with the Glitch. He's the one who's going to be the bomb carrier, so that's why the passive won't necessarily be as great for her.
I guess more eyes on the Talon, but otherwise not really much else there for it. Class last one left won't really be able to make it over to this bomb and defuse it because he's just getting run at by everybody else. Too many guns trained on him and just forced out by that later aggression. And they're getting pressured out by just the aura of Glitch, like the knowledge that they're there, because they can just get slowly peppered with utility that they want to throw out. Who's that also performing, I think, excellently so far for his team. Less downs than Canny, but a part of a lot of the kills they've been able to get so far.
We jump into round number 9 now. 5-3 the lead in favor of Hard Rook. This was a pretty even battle back and forth, but the last 2 rounds have been dominated by Hard Rook, and just the way that they single out one player and take care of him very effectively, very efficiently and quickly as well. You can see the defense trying to set up. Renewal is in the middle, kind of in between that doorway onto that A site, just before the church window, which marks the halfway mark of that kind of alleyway. There's one member sitting off on that white car at the top of those stairs in the middle. Syl will back up to the top of the stairs in the back of Pit. Now Renewal is going to retreat. I think he's moving towards the B site. Maybe he thinks that someone's trying to make a move towards it. Could be a rotation. Remember, Who's That is playing the Glitch, so there could be a little bit of a sneak play here. Glitch can be revealed by that radar dart, but has to enter the vicinity of it. Who's That making his way with the bomb towards the tree on the A site now. You will get the bomb planted. There was a smoke thrown by Dahlia into that doorway into mid from the bomb site. Hack comes through onto the defense. VPB will not have a drone available. Looks like he still has a pistol only as well as Chalk. Class throws a flashbang. Nothing comes of that. VPB is down and out. Who's That finds Renewal as well. It's just the 2 members standing here on the defense, and they're stuck in Pit. One of them did jump up on the tree. Throws his smoke towards the left of the tree barrier, but it doesn't matter. He's going to get flooded onto the site, and then they just flood the rest of Pit and finish off anyone in their way. 6-3 now with 3 straight rounds going in favor of Hard Rook.
Watching the way that they ended up positioned at the end of that round, I got a little confused because VPB was really close. Class was far back covering him. I feel like that should probably be flipped. I understand it's because Class is playing over by the other site, but that's a site with a much longer sight line you can play on. I feel like you do kind of want your Saint over there instead. Have your Chalk holding the angle. That's going to be a little bit closer. I think they might just... It's not the only thing going wrong, obviously, but put your Chalk by A, let your Saint play by B, but their answer to that is to stack more people over there. They're just going to have more guns and hope that's enough, but it looks like that's exactly what Hard Rook are expecting. Here they come swinging everybody over here by B, getting a renewal down low already, and the rotation's coming, but it might be a little bit too late.
Might just be. They've taken over Truck on the attacking side very effectively for Hard Rook. Can they defend it just as well? They do get a bomb planted very quickly. Look at... Did you see Glitch? He is off to the right. Almost completely behind them. Chalk is still waiting. You can see he is waiting behind these cans on the staircase in the middle. Bomb's been planted. He might never move. Unless the rest of his team dies and he has to be the one to watch the bomb. Smoke will come out. C4 as well. 40 from the C4. Smoke, I don't know if it's actually covering the site, but look how quick those goggles are out. You have to use those as quickly as like when you have to put them to use. If you pop them, there's no waste anymore. VPB finds one. Renewal as well. This bomb will be defused. 6-4 now. Dream Team kind of with a little resurgence there. Gave up 3 straight rounds until they can finally find one on the defensive side themselves.
You know, I liked the way that they were doing that post-plant play at first. I liked that Who's Dat was by the cans because he can see. I believe the radius doesn't go all the way over, so he knows if someone's trying to flank through that high ground over to market. Just some good information potentially gathered there, but they kind of just beefed some shots on the fight when it happened, when VPB climbed back up. That fight could have gone their way, but they just could not end up... They couldn't connect the shots that they needed to there. VPB able to clutch up after being in a tight situation earlier. And now they're saying, hey, aggression worked on defense, on attack. Let's do it on defense. Class, pretty far forward, but they know he's there. That the glitch, they at least know he's close by, and the glitch is pretty far back, so they're not going to fall for it. They're not going to do this. They hear the yell, and both of them there. Still one will fall. Who's Dat finishes him off, though, but VPB, the Saint from behind, running up. I'm assuming back from that zipper, maybe just right behind him, crossing through the middle of sight. It's going to end up working out, even throwing your res away.
From the zipper, as Kresnik would say. Renewal, nice shot onto the Kestrel for that quick little peek that he made. He's all alone. And I think this might just be another round in favor of the Dream Team. They're trying to claw their ways back. And it will be 6-5 now. And Kresnik, I mean, that round was totally different from the defensive side of Dream Team. They got very aggressive on cannons.
I like the mix-up. I think that it's tough to do into the glitch, like we were saying, but the fact that that's clearly their comfort zone. It's something they have been doing already. On the attack, might as well do it on the defense, mix it up, especially after the passive rounds they've been playing. It really just completely caught them off guard, and they were able to take advantage of that. Will they do it again? I don't know, but early utility sent out by the Saint makes me think that they might. Thing is, there's no one there, and they really don't have a way to tell, other than maybe the Talon Dart, but I'm not sure exactly what that can see right now from Renewal's position, how far out it is. So though, watching them defensively, and now they have all that intel they need. That might be the go button for Class.
If it is, it has to be now. If he waits any longer, might not be as effective. But I mean, look at Dahlia just waiting. Let's just see what moves will be coming at him from behind, if any at all. Who's that? Playing towards Market on the staircase, has the bomb in hand, has his iPhone out as well. He can see possibly VPB. He'll start to move, and he might have just gotten him, so he knows that he's close, and there's only a few spots where he could be. He's kind of strafing through mid, seeing if he can catch him with it once again. VPB now making a move. Clash as well has repositioned. He's on cannons, and he's got shots on and successful. But remember, that's a Dahlia res for the glitch. It'll come through. Picks up the bomb. The rest of the team is now backing him up. He is surviving everything being thrown at him, but finally Sill was able to catch one with the tier in his hands. They did get the bomb planted, but two of them did fall because of it. A third one goes down. They're chasing down the fourth. It's successful, and look at that. The Dream Team will tie this game at 6.
And a great play by them, I think, the way that they did it near the end. The fact that they pushed in to take damage just to get that down, because they knew, hey, we have a Saint, we have a Chalk. We'll pop the Rage to get in, we'll res him after. We know they can't punish it because we have Syl way back watching with the tier. That's how you do it. You spend the double res effective, the Chalk with the self res and the Saint with the res for the teammates, to kind of bait someone to come chase it. Even if you are getting the res once you don't have it, you're still at least pulling them into your sight lines that your fixer's watching defensively. I like that pivot to the tier, playing those long back angles. That's kind of what I was hoping to see.
Hold on, his glitch? Wait, that was so cool. Glitch was laying down on his hoverboard. It's the best thing I've seen with it so far.
Sure, we'll see plenty more down the road, Blue.
Air luging. Is that how you say it? Like street luging?
Yes.
Anyhow. Still making his way through that staircase onto Market. You did see a bounce nade just get thrown across. Not sure who that was from, but it didn't kill anyone. Has the iPhone in his hand. Class is playing in the same spot towards cannons. Now he's retreating back into the pit with the rest of his team. They might be rotating for B. They might think that the bomb is making its way to the B site. Renewal, heavily invested. Already getting some shots onto Giuseppe in mid, it looked like. I wouldn't take that fight too much, though. He has the tier in his hand, and that is good enough range for a headshot. Here comes a smoke from Syl, however. He's also got the tier in his hands. Renewal does find Rixie. That's a Deadeye in his hands.
So much range pressure over there on that side. It's so much. They can't really take it at a long angle. They have to rotate somewhere else, I think. They cannot take that fight. They do make it back over to A to get this down. And they actually have the numbers, too. Can they set up for this post plant effectively enough? They're trying to watch these flanks because I think they're afraid of these rotations, but everyone is just up front except for one player close by the cut, and he just got found out.
Well, the bomb's been planted in the same spot once again, and look at this angle. Look at that. We come right in. Oh, my goodness. Syl, rolling backwards down the stairs, was still able to get that headshot in time. C4 comes out, finds them both. Giuseppe serving up a little pancake there.
Enemies are on match point.
Hot and fresh for him. Butter's melting on, but they got
Actually,
what they needed from it. A calzone, a little flat for a calzone. Maybe a panini. Something that's been pressed down at least all the way. They ride their hoverboards in. One round away from taking down this first demo. A close map it's been. Back and forth. We've seen some very interesting plays from them. So from both teams, honestly, so far. It was a great pivot near the end of that round to win it. Now, again, kind of sacrificing B. makes the pressure to be. It's just Renewal there. I'm assuming there's a dart forward as well, and still watching mid from a very deep angle, trying to get some more info for his team if he can.
Taking out the Talon Dart very quickly. Able to recognize that a flank might have been coming through, and then noticing and hearing that little sound cue you get, and then finding it quick enough. Nice play from him. That made him retreat as well. Now they won't have that to use to their advantage. Oh my goodness, Rixie falling super low. Saint drone came out, but they're able to down him. I don't think they destroyed the drone, so they might get that back. Might
Didn't
still
look like
have that available.
I think they do. No one shot the drone, it seemed. Just disappeared when the player down got finished off here. They might catch out Syl. Rick's got that peek there. Gonna go for the bounce. Need angle for it. Has the damage, but a little afraid to push that. I think not wanting to take that fight. Just gonna bail play to live for the post plant as they get that bomb down here in what could be the final round. Looking for any angle to take. It is a slight advantage towards Hard Rook. Even bigger, I guess, because they have that bomb to play on. A lot of people sitting up top in market that has to get cleared out, but they're going to know if someone's flanking courtesy of that glitch.
Yeah, but like you said earlier, all this long-range pressure. Who's that? Doesn't have a long-range weapon, so look how close he's playing, but he's being well protected. They have to attack this from both sides, and they have to get quick downs. VPA falls short. The rage comes out from Shock, but Glitch is winning this fight. Without a doubt, Class was not able to hit as many shots as he would have liked. And now, Kestrel finds one himself. That will be a defeat.
Great performance. Near the end, Hard Rook, man, they started figuring out what they were doing. It was a really close first half. It was a close second half, too, honestly. I felt like they were constantly getting surprised by what Dream Team were able to do. As it went on, though, Hard Rook, they figured out ways to get the bomb in. They figured out what sides were weaker. They used slow scans with Who's Dat to kind of clear space, get that bomb down, and then those post plants just became so much harder.
Hey, let's take a look at the replays from that game number 1 on Windward. It was a good one. I mean, back and forth. We got all the way to a 6-6 tie at one point, but again, there was just too much long-range pressure once they got the bomb plant. That was the whole idea of that attacking strategy, I think, from Hard Rook. Get the bomb planted quickly. We can set up, and we can outgun them without even getting close to them. I mean, besides Who's That? He's going to have to get up close with the LMPX in his hand. And he was able to win gunfights in 1v1s with Class when he was raged up several times. So just the way they were able to play to their advantages really worked out in their favor. Ooh, what a nice shot there from Syl. I guess the Dallas ban worked out for him.
But not as well as you'd want a target ban to work out, right? I think that it was a decent advantage for him, but Renewal just kind of played this slow defensive play with his revealers anyway, and the frag was coming from anybody else. Maybe if he had Dallas in his hands, he would have also been fragging pretty hard too, but I don't know if too much changes. Maybe it's an 8-7, I guess, if they let the Dallas ban if they let the Dallas through, but I feel like they still put up a great performance even with a player being directly targeted.
Hey, we'll never know unless we get to see Dallas in maybe the King of the Hill, but that might not happen. Who knows? Not us. Anything can happen. Hard Rook defeat the Dream Team in game number 1, 8-6 in Demolition on Windward. Now we're going to game number 2. We're going to King of the Hill on Icarus. We've seen Icarus King played earlier today in our last matchup for our semifinal, number 1, and it was pretty chaotic, especially with the new D Hill. That and the B and the C, they're all so close. I mean, the C Hill, people scored only like 20, 25 points on it the entire time. You scored more points on the A site, and there's less time on that one. So things get very crazy on this map. I think that we're going to see just the standard power picks here. Going back to what I was saying earlier, hard Rook. They just love to pick a script and stick to it. And I think that's what's going to happen here. Who's that on the chalk? And the Anvil and the Lancer will be the bands coming through. This is going to be even crazier because without an Anvil, you can't create new lines of sights and you can't shut down the many, many ones that there are, like MSC. Yeah.
Yeah. The Anvil being gone, big deal. He's really solid on this map. We saw it earlier. And then Lancer has also always been kind of a force here. Wouldn't be shocked to see a Vi here. But map number 2, Blue.
Hey, map number 2, Icarus. Let's jump into it. Let's see how it goes because I'm pretty excited to see what power picks come through. I think if any of these two teams are going to shake things up, it's going to have to be the Dream Team. Also, they've got to win this game if they want a chance at the finals, because if they lose game 2, they will no longer be contending for those top 2 spots. Again, this is semifinals match number 2, Hard Rook versus the Dream Team. As we take a look here at the rogues that will be selected. Kresnik, it might...
Not shocked to see the Kestrel, and the Dima has been locked
go,
in.
baby!
So it makes sense. It's Icarus. It's Icarus. I totally get it. There's a lot you can gain from that. There were just the reveals from the nade and anything else Dima brings to the picture. Decent gun, decent utility. On a map where you're close together, where you're forced into certain areas, you'll get forced out right into the sightlines of everybody else. It just works.
There's a Dima in my game. This is awesome. There's a Vi as well. That's a power pick. I mean, everything pretty much here is a power pick. Talent is something that's starting to creep up into that power pick on respawns, right? Because we've seen a lot of players start to pick it up. They go for these cheeky little flanks when no one's paying attention. We saw that work out for the Lancer in our Icarus game last set. So who knows? Things could work out for the town here. You might have 2 double Deadeyes on that team. Nightshade coming out. You could also see a shotgun from the Vi. We saw those happen before the patch even came through. People were practicing their shotguns before they were buffed, and we saw some really good Vi play with that shotgun. So we could see that again as well.
I would love to see it, especially because you can swap back if you think things start feeling kind of bad for you. Honestly, looking at these comps straight up, whether shotgun or not on anybody, I actually kind of like Dream Team's comp a little bit better. I feel like Fixer might get overwhelmed on this map, depending on how aggressive the other team plays here as they get utiled, spammed, flash. We can't even tell what's going on here, but the first team to touch will be Hard Rook, and they have it locked down.
All right, we got to make some plays, Dima. We got to make some plays, man. That wasn't the best Merv launcher, but I get it. First objective, you just come out blasting. Let's go. Let's go. Mamba Hipfire got buffed. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, darn it, bro. Anywho, I mean, it's still a chaotic fight there on the first point. Everything got blown out. I mean, yeah, we got flashbanged like 3 times, it seemed like. 12 seconds remaining on that first objective. That's the garbage time that will be picked up, and that is a complete Hard Rook sweep, it looks like, of that first objective. Dream Team gave it up pretty early as well, and they're going to be moving. That is another part of the kit that really stands out to me with Dima, is not just the ability to use so much lethal grenades with the Merv launcher and the frag, and then you have a really good gun with both the K-30 and the Mamba, but especially the Mamba, but the ability to have the EMPs. And then with Scorch, you can have EMPs, but you don't get another 2 until you die, right? Which can happen a lot because it's King of the Hill. But with Dima, you have resupply. Throw an EMP, pick up one off a dead body, throw it again, and just keep going. And it starts that snowball effect to where potentially you can have a team where they are EMP'd for about 30 seconds to a minute, which is a lot of time.
it can work. It's one of those perks that just gets a lot better in some of these respawn modes as Renewal finds one on the back. It is a 1-for-1 trade, but they do not swing control of the objective. It looks like they might need to just fight for the outside through the Dream Team. They find the one player that was making that early rotation, but they're about to get flooded from this half-wall area. Renewal, interestingly, looks like he's trying to stop the garbage time, but he's just getting forced out. I guess he just slowed down their rotation a little bit. His two players are ready to burst out and fight him.
He's got a Nightshade as well. They picked up a dead body. Nice Merv launcher to keep them. He downed himself with it. Forced Candy into him. Was able to get him as well. Class hiding out on the stage. Vi Poison coming out, kind of not allow people to run into him as effectively as they would have liked. This C objective, not as chaotic as I would have thought it would be at the beginning. Class with the Semtex. And Class, he did a good job on Chalk in the early rounds of that first game, but now it's not looking so great. He gets taken out again. Rixie, oh my goodness. Got the Mastermind skin on and looks like Megamind in the movement department. He just knows where to go, how to do it. Look at that, still surviving. 19 health. Doesn't even have any extra health from the Vi Poisons right now.
Likely we'll be getting it soon, I was going to say, as he starts to fight for Hill D, but Renewal actually picks up one with the Merv, one with the Mamba. Zrix trades another down. So many. That was just extra credit all over the place there for that Vi. But Dream Team, they get 2 picks with the Dima on the way in that lets them come together, and this is a site that you can hold if you can just kite some of the utility, but already the picks are going the other way. Still, VPB bolt down. Class only gets 1, and it's just the Dima remaining, and that Semtex will finish him off. So it's been flipped right away, and Dream Team need to break through.
Yeah, man, Class, he keeps getting put in these 2v1 situations. That time he was able to down a one-shot person, but he still lost his life to it. And again, he gets beamed from Giuseppe from across onto that objective. 125 on the board for Hard Rook. They lead by 50 plus at the moment. Only 15 seconds remaining in regular time as well. And who's that? Using the LMPX. This time around, that's the second LMPX character he's gotten to use. And he takes full advantage of it. Someone picked up a Mamba. It was Cannibals. He downs him. First round will go to Hard Rook. They're 1 round away from making the finals and a top 2 spot.
Getting close. I think this is about what we expected, although I think this is closer to just from the pedigree what I was looking to see. But Dream Team have pleasantly, I think, surprised me. Some of those fights, and even in that round that didn't go as far their way, were well done by them. Still have a chance here to, of course, their comp. I do still like their rogue composition for this map. Just have to make it there a little bit quicker. They got just completely zoned out last time they tried to make it over here, and you can see the entire stack of Dream Team trying to get something here, but already
as well.
Lashed and nothing they can see. Even with Renewal taking this space, they're already down 1.
They do realize that they need to Incend Alley, get Chalk out of there, but they just cannot do so. Cannibals, another character that he has really started to improve on. Not used to seeing him play it. Look at that. Semtex D40 peak challenge. Little combo wombo gets the job done. He is still alive. That was a Vi versus a Vi, it looked like. And a little trade between the Nightshades there. This time, Dream Team was able to score some points on that first hill. Not as much as they would have liked, but still they didn't get shut out on hill 1 like they did in the previous round. Maybe that's enough to turn the tides here. VPB and Sill fighting for hill 2 already. They will have control of it as soon as it spawns in. And now this is where the rotation is most important for Hard Rook, because if they can't break into this They might have to give up and go for the C, but at the same time, that's right next door. So do you continue to go for B?
Looks like you will. If you can find your own way in. They had Candy pushing up half wall, and then suddenly they pincer it from every side. One person each. They all win their gunfight, so that is a free flip for them. With a decent amount of time left, too. This will get them at, a 65-30 lead if they hold on to it the whole time. They really pick on Sill. But I wouldn't be shocked to see them just shift over to C right now and try to punish them on the way out. They keep losing players just to some of these poke fights. Even if this nade ends up taking him down, which it will, he gets that trade immediately. So C has to be the game plan for Dream Team right now. They have a lot of utility to hit them as they try to make that rotation through half wall. And they just have to actually be there already, and they're still losing some of these fights. Renewal needed to be up. That Merv had to hit that choke.
See, I think as long as B is up, you just stay on that Bravo hill as long as possible. Because the Charlie one is not going to... It's going to be crazy out there. Can you find another one? Hello, Stalker Mamba, baby! Increased movement speed built into that gun? Come on now. That's disgusting. With Stalker paired on it as well. I mean, Saint doesn't get Stalker, so... The gun is the only movement speed extra for him. Here comes the Merv launcher. Doesn't find anything from it. He's got someone in his face. Look at the movement coming out from both of them. But the C4 will work out in Giuseppe's favor. He quickly goes down as well. Sill class finding one apiece. This time they are keeping up. 65 and counting. They have control of the Charlie objective. Hard Rook's score has halted at 58. They will now be down what is 20 points, and there is still plenty of time left on that C objective. They're already fighting for the D hill.
Looks like they're going to get it. I mean, they're losing a few players over here. Renewal's the one holding on, has to be the one to live, but will get dead-eyed from just across the way. Trash Time goes their way. Plus this Sill now coming into contest, but you can see all these players kind of coming into collapse on him with Rixie holding there close by. They're trying to find their way in. Sill has to stay here, I think, if they want their chance to flip it. But losing one to that Merv launcher, it's even back and forth, but now it's just Rix left. And they're going to start getting this time because he's not there to contest.
Well, Rixie trying to make his way through. There's only 40 seconds left. You don't have to play this as aggressive. If you just want to try and get in, hold it nicely, and then play for that overtime if you're Hard Rook. At the same time, though, if you get to a point in the scoreboard where you're like, okay, this is going to be very difficult in overtime, let's just go to, or sudden death, excuse me, let's just go to a third round. Start off fresh, get it done a lot better at the beginning. That could be a possibility.
Could be for them if they want to try to get there, but they obviously want to try to hold on and win it here, and it looks like it could be possible if they could just clear out this last player. They're on the back. The C4 will do it. 93, only 6 more ticks. I don't even know if they're close enough to make it happen. They might, after being down this whole time, actually turn it back around. Hard Rook. It was close, but Dream Team could not hold on to the last objective they needed.
Well, that's exactly what we were just talking about. Do they just say, let's go to the next round? Let's go to an overtime, start fresh, and get a jump on those objectives like we did in the first round? Or do we try and come back in sudden death? But there was like 30 seconds left when I was talking about that. And they held it for that 30 seconds. And then they said, oh, we're only down by like 8. Let's go. They got the job done. I mean, that's an easy game for them, it appears. Hard Rook, they look good. Dream Team, once again, falls short in qualifier number 2. And they have the same fate that they did last week. They will finish top 4. Hard Rook, however, will move on to the finals. Let's take a look at the series finals here. Kresnik, what are your final thoughts on this matchup between the Dream Team and Hard Rook?
Honestly, I was impressed with Hard Rook, and I think how they were adapting to Dream Team. But I am kind of sad I don't get to see more Dream Team. They were just doing some really interesting stuff. I think the way that they were kind of playing around, like, look, who throws their Saint into the middle of a team like that? Nobody does. but Dream Team do. And it was enough
especially when
in
you
some of
don't
these
have the
situations.
double res.
Yeah, when your dolly is not going to pick him up in response, but I'm happy to see Hard Rook, I think, coming in here. They have a lot of talent. Happy to see, I think, what will be the great finals between this team and Hefty Fox. I think will be it should be a slam jam between the two of them because they looked solid on Demolition. They were adapting really quickly to what Dream Team were doing after the fact. You know, they had to get kind of ran at once or twice and then they shifted, but Dream Team, they adapted decently on the King of the Hill near the end. I think they were playing that Merv a little bit better. I think Renewal had to warm up on the Dima. He had a rough first couple of lives, but once that Mamba hipfire was hitting, it was hitting well until they just could not spend the utility in the right place to actually knock them out of this final hill.
Yeah, it was pretty devastating the way they were able to come back there. I mean, even I was doubting it for a moment, and then when they were like 6 points behind, 9-3, 9-9, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I shouldn't have doubted them. 2-0 on the Icarus King of the Hill in game 2. Hard Rook take the series 2-0. They will move on to the grand finals where they will be facing against Hefty Fox. So it's two teams that start with H, and it's two auto-generated names in the bracket. Hefty Fox versus Hard Rook. These two teams will battle it out to determine who will take home first place with $400 and who will take home second place with $200. But most importantly, the points and the seedings in the standings for the top 16 spots into that double elimination bracket for the main event where we are giving out $10,000. But until then, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.